Hi, this is Ray. And so my theory is that theoretically that this whole thing is not actually indescribable. Not even with Quentin Tarantino, a personal friend of Fiona's, making an internet movie on my page. Well, so the phenomenon that goes on around the homeless person is supposed to be something that we have yet to understand, and we don't really understand that you could not even investigate to understand the condition or the human condition that surrounds a homeless person, because it is a homeless person. Actually, what there is to say is that it's just kind of it's not a very exciting kind of a conversation. On the one hand, it's as if to say that anybody would do anything to stop this homeless person from succeeding at something, as if to say. But really, people are just minding their own business. And on the other hand, it's as if to say that it's not just as if to say that anybody would do anything to stop this homeless person from succeeding at something. And so on the one hand, it's as if to say that anybody would do anything to stop this homeless person from succeeding at something, while on the other hand, it's as if to say that it's as if to say. In other words, that there's really something going on around the homeless person, on the other hand, And so what happens is you've got a kind of a boring conversation about this guy, and we turn it into a boring conversation about ourselves, And so basically, and that almost sounds like something that Quentin Tarantino might say, I don't know, but basically that what we need to understand is that we don't trade places with the homeless guy. We don't switch places with him in the middle of a conversation about ourselves. And what you get is you get these people running around the city talking about their own experience with the same subject. And in the middle of this thing, they're talking about, well, why didn't I just switch places with that guy? And it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And so it's this thing about the condition of being a person, and somehow we're trying to make sure that we don't get the whole thing switched around the wrong way. Because this conversation is not a conversation to abuse that conversation, to make ourselves look very important, just standing next to one homeless person, for instance. And so this is the conversation that we get into, because you don't need to have people who make important decisions being confused themselves about that very subject. It's just a boring conversation about most people, but none of it turns it into a boring conversations about ourselves, talking about these homeless people, though. And these kind of things take place while there's homeless people out there. We're making some kind of a mistake, and we're trying to turn it into a boring conversation about ourselves. But the only thing that means is that you're going to find out that you do not switch places with that homeless person. You see how that works? And so it's just something that we're smart enough to have an understanding. We're intelligent enough to have an understanding, not just some type of a phenomenon. You know what I mean?